Hello, greetings! This is a continuation of example 2 from week 7, so our sank and goal programming example. And so in the last screencast we set up our model. So to summarize, here we have it, right? So we're going to minimize. So these are our 2 deviation variables for our 1 goal constraint. We have our 3 absolute constraints, and then our goal constraint here. And then finally we have our non-negativity constraint, which includes our x variables, so the number of runs per shift, and then also our deviation variable for goal 1, which is that the number of wheels is twice that of the number of seats. Okay, so cool, non-negativity constraint. So here's my goal constraint, and then our 3 absolute constraints. So I've gone over to Excel, or LibreOffice Calc in my case, and I started by essentially just retyping the table. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add another table, which is going to be XI. And so XI, this will be, we'll call it number of runs per shift. Okay, and I just put in some initial values, say 1. Okay, and then remember one trick when we're using LibreOffice Calc or Excel to solve is when I use solver, I'm going to have to be able to select all the variables I could potentially change in one swoop. Okay, and so what I'm going to add is another column here, and we'll call it DI negative and DI plus, right? And we'll even label this goal 1 are D1 negative deviation variable and D1 positive deviation variable. Okay, but this way I can just select everything in one swoop. When I use solver, these are empty cells, so they'll be ignored, right? And even to make it a little more clear, I could color this like yellow, right? This is kind of like a separate separate table. Alright, and so then our objective in this case is going to be the sum of our deviation variables for goal 2. Okay. And actually, so I have a small typo. I wrote this as D1 minus D1 plus. Okay. Now remember, D1 minus and D1 plus, so non-negativity, those are both going to be positive. Okay, so I want to make sure I have a plus here. Okay, either one's going to be 0 and one will be non-negative, or so D1 negative will be 0 or positive. D1 positive will be 0 or some positive number. So I don't want a negative sign here, because if I have a negative sign, then my solver is just going to keep making D1 positive larger and larger and larger, because that'll become more and more negative, right? Because I'm trying to minimize it. I'm trying to make it as small as possible. Okay, I don't want that. Right? I want my minimum to happen at 0. So this, okay, I need to go back and change my solution that's posted. This needs to be a positive sign. Okay, this needs to change to a positive sign. All right, so this needs to change to a positive sign. Okay, I'll go back and fix that now. Okay, so that's that part. So my objective is D1 minus plus D1 positive. Okay, and then I need to list out my constraints. Okay, and so we'll have our capacity constraints on. I'll just write shift 1. Okay, and there's going to be 2 of them. Shift 2 and shift 3. Okay. And my constraint is just related to the number of runs in shift 1. Okay, so let me just copy that twice. The runs in shift 2 and the runs in shift 3. Okay, and my restriction is that it's going to be between 4 and 5 for shift 1, 10 and 20 for shift 2, 3 and 5 for shift 3, and then the last is my goal 1, and goal 1 is number of wheels produced minus 2 times the number of seats produced plus the difference in my deviation variables. So this will be x1 times 500 plus x2 times 600 plus x3 times 640 minus 2 times parentheses x1 times seats plus x2 times seats plus x3 times seats plus d1 negative minus d1 positive. Okay, and that's going to be equal to 0. Okay, so now in solver, okay, we'll have solver. We want to minimize cell B7 by changing x and deviation variables. Okay, number of runs in shift 1 is going to be greater than or equal to 4, and less than or equal to 5. Shift 2 is greater than or equal to 10, but less than or equal to 20. Shift 3 is greater than or equal to 3, or less than or equal to 5. Then our goal constraint is that our left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, which is 0. Okay. And before I solve, I'm going to check the box for my non-negativity constraint. Click OK. Let me solve. Successfully solved. We keep our result. So we find that all of our deviation variables are 0. So these are okay. They're not referenced anywhere. So it looks like, so in shift 1, we have 4 runs, 16 in run 2, 3 in run 3. And so with that, we make exactly twice as many wheels as we do seats, right? And our deviation variables are all 0, right? So we can actually exactly satisfy the requirement by 4 runs in shift 1, 16 runs in shift 2, and 3 runs in shift 3. Looks a little unbalanced, but in the context of the problem, there it is. Okay, and again, one note: I'm going to fix this when I post it. This should be a plus here in terms of contribution to our objective function. And again, the reason for it is we're trying to minimize this, and so non-negativity, both D1 negative and D1 positive are non-negative numbers, so they're positive numbers. And so if that's the case, and I have this negative sign here, what will happen with your solver is if I just keep decreasing D1 positive or increasing the value of D1 positive, that negative sign, since I'm trying to minimize it, will just keep trying to make it bigger and bigger and bigger, so that my objective function becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, right? More and more negative. And so we don't want that. We want our minimum to happen at 0. We don't want negative values in this case. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and again, I'll fix that typo. Okay, best of luck.